The restaurant was loud, overpriced, and full of people pretending they belonged there. Lena Moore balanced a tray of drinks as she approached table 12, a corner booth occupied by a sharply dressed man and a woman dripping in designer labels. The man, Victor Hale, barely looked at her. "Finally," he said, "we've been waiting." Lena placed the drinks carefully. "Sorry for the delay." The woman, Sabrina, glanced at Lena's uniform and smirked. "Make sure the wine isn't cheap," she said. "We have standards." Lena nodded politely. What Victor didn't notice was how carefully Lena studied him. She recognized his voice instantly. She had heard it dozens of times. Confident, persuasive, always asking for more funding. Victor was the CEO of Hale Dynamics, and Lena Moore was a silent investor who had kept his company alive for 3 straight years. Victor leaned toward Sabrina and lowered his voice. Not enough. "She's just a waitress," he whispered. "Relax." Lena didn't react. She wrote down the order and kept listening. As Lena refilled their water glasses, Victor's phone buzzed. Sabrina glanced at the screen and laughed. "She still thinks you're working late," she teased. Victor scoffed. "My wife barely exists anymore. She should be grateful I keep her comfortable." Lena paused just for a second. Victor's wife. That was new. Sabrina leaned closer. "Once the funding round clears, you'll finally leave her, right?" Victor smirked. "Of course. I'm not staying married to someone who doesn't add value." Lena finished pouring the water. Her hands were steady. Inside, something cold clicked into place. When Lena returned to the kitchen, she locked herself in the supply room and pulled out her phone. She opened a familiar contact. "Hale Dynamics, Capital Review." She typed one sentence. "Proceed to Phase 3. Lena Moore hadn't always worn a waitress uniform. She came from old money, the kind that didn't chase headlines. Her family trust invested quietly, strategically, anonymously. When Victor pitched Hale Dynamics years earlier, Lena had liked his vision. She had also noticed his arrogance. So she funded him indirectly. When she married Victor, she kept her role hidden. She wanted partnership, not dependence. When the marriage deteriorated, Lena stepped back in the company, but never pulled out. Until now, at 9:17 p.m., while Victor laughed over dessert, his CFO received an email. All capital infusions suspended, effective immediately. 10 minutes later, Victor's phone started vibrating nonstop. He ignored it. Lena returned with the check. "Whenever you're ready," she said. Victor waved her off. "Do you know who I am?" he snapped. Lena met his eyes for the first time. "Yes," she said softly. "I do." Victor's phone rang again. This time he answered. "What?" he barked. His expression shifted. Confusion, then panic. "What do you mean the accounts are frozen?" he hissed. "That funding is guaranteed." Lena stood quietly beside the table. Sabrina frowned. "What's going on?" Victor covered the phone. "Something's wrong." Lena placed a business card on the table. Not a restaurant card. A private one. Victor glanced down and froze. "Lena Moore," he whispered. She nodded. "The waitress?" Sabrina laughed until she saw Victor's face. "I'm the primary financier of Hale Dynamics," Lena said evenly. "And your wife?" The restaurant noise faded. Victor's phone slipped from his hand. You did this?" "No," Lena replied. "You did." By morning, Hale Dynamics was in crisis. Investors fled. Employees panicked. Victor was removed by the board before noon. Sabrina blocked his number. The press never learned Lena's full role. She preferred it that way. The divorce papers arrived quietly. Victor tried calling, begging, explaining. Lena didn't answer. Instead, she reassigned funding to 3 startups led by people Victor had once dismissed. All of them thrived. Victor did not. Weeks later, Lena returned to the restaurant, not as a waitress, as the owner. The staff stared. She smiled. "Everyone deserves respect," she said, "especially those you think don't matter." That night, Lena reviewed her portfolio from her penthouse balcony. Victor's company was gone. Her future wasn't. They mocked the waitress. They never realized the billionaire was paying the bill the whole time. If you enjoy billionaire betrayal stories where power hides in plain sight, where arrogance writes its own ending, subscribe now. We upload daily, and the next story is already waiting.